vehicle inspection. And quite a number of the vehicles that come to our inspection centers actually pass the test. The story around the story is that sometimes they would even borrow tires and all that come to inspection and they inspect it. But then after that, when they end up on the road, they remove all those tires. That is a story for another day. But I would say that how we've been working with the operators, who are the SACCOs and the company, the transport companies, is we've been trying to build them towards compliance. We work through the SACCOs. And we look at the SACCO, the threshold is you must, over 30%, 50% of your vehicles, actually every other time we check on you must be, compliant. So, and we do that quite a lot. But we can't rule out some of these fellows who sometimes circumvent the law and they just don't want to comply. But interestingly, sometimes when we are doing, say, such an operation now that we're calling it a clinic, and we're telling operators, bring your vehicles on the road so that we can discuss these things together, they hide their vehicles. They would hide even a whole week. You can imagine. When just they hear NTSA is here on the road, they hide. So that way, we're not helping each other. Because by the end of the day, then you remain with the same problem. You didn't bring the vehicle, so you remain with the same problem. In fact, it's even more expensive. We are telling them it's more expensive to have such a vehicle which is not compliant, because utaendelea kulipa hongos here and there, the vehicle is not roadworthy and all that. But like I said again, a bit of our enforcement is where we also need to fix. If we could really step up this enforcement, and it should be anytime, it should not be, it should be a continuous thing, because the moment they know you'll come in this month, then they'll hide. Then they know you'll not come back again this other time, you'll come back again in August and that kind of thing. Perhaps this is a good pointer to us that we need to make it even more proactive all the time, this kind of enforcement. But nonetheless, we are speaking to the SACCOs and companies to ensure that their vehicles really comply. And very soon, moving forward through the same technology, we'll be assessing now every SACCO based on that. If you don't meet this threshold, then we just delicense you. Because why would you have 50 vehicles and we're only seeing 20 which are compliant? Where are the 30? Meaning you're hiding somewhere. So we want to take this responsibility to the SACCOs now. On all of those vehicles, if we check in the system you're not compliant, then will not sit well with you. So that challenge is there. Now for the school transport, the regulations are there. And you heard our CS not so long ago making a statement after we lost quite a number of children on the roads. No night travels. 5 to 10, beyond there, we are not talking. Now what we are, and there are regulations since 2016 they have been there, how a school bus should be, how many children should be seated, the use of restraints and all that, the attendants in the vehicle, all that, the yellow color that you see, all that is there. What we are now doing is stepping up this. We are now reminding schools, please stick to this. Because beyond here now, it will not be good for you. Because we don't want to see schools being taken to court because of just not complying. Actually, school buses are PSV. What people don't know. The drivers of school buses actually are given PSV badges. Institutional, yes, but it's a PSV badge. The only difference with the school buses and the other PSVs is that the schools can go countrywide. Their road service license allows them to go countrywide, unlike the other matatus who operate within a given route. But they have to obey because they're carrying passengers. In fact, they're carrying even more vulnerable passengers, the children. They are even more vulnerable. So we are very strict with them. Over the weekend, we were training the international schools, drivers, on some of these things. We're telling them now the law will be even more harsher. To the extent that now, drivers who drive PSV, when you come to renew your license, now you have to go for refresher training. That's how serious it is now. So that we fix some of these issues. Because quite a number of schools have hired either retired guys, they've hired people from the village there, and then this kind of thing. They never go through a very rigorous process of selection, recruitment, and all that. We tell them, no, here, these guys now have to go back to school again, some refresher, for them now to ensure safety for the school buses.
Interesting, because you've termed them as clinics. And the CS for transport, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, talked about the importance of you guys teaming up, the government, the ministry in itself, NTSA, the National Police Service, and ensuring that all the speed limiters installed in these vehicles are valid and genuine speed limiters. And my other concern with matters road safety in the country, and it's key that the National Police have been included in this particular clinic. And we've seen exposes even by members of the fourth estate, media houses in the country. The issue of I don't know whether to term it as, can't really frame it as corruption per se, but bribes, taking bribes along the roads in the country. Most police officers, I do not want to say all of them because there are police who do not take bribes in the country, but a good number of traffic officers in the country do take bribes at the expense of really getting to understand and see whether that vehicle is roadworthy or not. What is the agency, the authority, National Transport and Safety Authority, trying to do to ensure that they can, should I say, counter that? Because if at the end of the day, you cannot have officers on all the roads across the country. That's one thing for sure. And you also depend on the National Police Service to help you in enforcing the law. But if you cannot be able to get that help, what then can be done on such cases?
Yes, actually, I really appreciate your concerns, and it's every Kenyan's concerns. Hey, this bribery thing, I don't know what they do. Because people is stopped, and the next thing you see,
nowadays, by the way, the latest expose that was done on bribery along the Kenyan roads is that you will not see the traffic officer getting the bribe himself. You see them walking around, and then there's just some ordinary citizen who will go pick the cash, and then they'll bring it to the person. I presume they also get a share of it. But it's alarming.
Honestly, we are a sick country, and I blame the takers and the givers. I mean, those of us who give and those of us who take, which is just wrong. Because here we're talking about safety. I wish it was something else. It's just wrong behavior. But one thing that we are now working on to fix that, because like you said, we can't be everywhere. We can't police the police. Then it becomes something else. So what we're doing now is leveraging on technology. Like I did mention, under the ODPP's office, that Council for Administration of Justice, one of the things that we're coming up now with is a platform called Traffic Management System platform. With that platform, we are introducing now the instant fines. Now, instant fines means what? It means that there will be no human interface anywhere where I'm supposed to give money and do those monkey business. Because ideally, my offense is this, yes. Then I'm told, hey, you've overlapped. This is how much you're supposed to pay. Then I pay, which is online and all, it's digitized, so it goes to the court. Two, also, our license now, our smart DL license, it has a feature inside it, which actually has demerit points on it. And that we need to activate it. So at every offense, there's some points you lose. And over time now, we may ask you to be out of the road. Three is that then it has also a pass inside or a wallet, just like your M-Pesa and bank cards and all that. You can actually swipe, those fines and all that. What are we doing? We're trying to tell Kenyans, look here, let's embrace this, other than having to carry money and then you give police and all that kind of thing. We can minimize this money exchange by handling our issues very professionally like this. Pay your fines. And let me tell Kenyans who are listening that traffic offenses, which are not criminal offenses, in fact, the fines are so little for some of the offenses. But people fear, and then you end up paying so much bribery, instead of just complying, you would have paid even much, less. But there's much more in terms of if you complied than having to go even swiping and paying those fines. So as we encourage Kenyans not to really misbehave and not to to end up again, paying fines and all that by just changing their behavior. We're also now trying to fix this problem, remove this human interface of iki to kidogo through technology. Because at every point in time, when you are paying for your traffic offenses, then you're also learning. Over time now you'll start knowing, hey, if I do this, then this is the penalty. If I do this, then I will lose my points. People will be more careful. People now will avoid all this manner of, I'll give 50 bob here and really get away with it. Lastly also is that, like you heard what our CS did say, we are really embracing technology. And on these highways now, they're going to install cameras